From Wall Street to Main Street, this is
LA with big updates about your top crypto investments of 2021. In this recording, we're going to go over the breaking news about Dogecoin and the big developing details about several major coins making big moves today, heading towards the moon. We'll go over Ethereum, Dogecoin, SafeMoon, Stellar, Nervos, Stratis, and Wanchain. We'll go over four major breaking news stories in the last 24 hours that could signal big hope for Dogecoin to go through the moon. We have all these incredible details, and in this recording, we go over the top investments of 2021. As of today, we're going to go outside the box and look at some of the cheaper altcoins that are making major moves this Monday afternoon, just after a live time of 12 p.m. on the West Coast. Let's jump into the screen right now and interact and look and see what's going on with Dogecoin. Dogecoin, as you know, took its initial pull back on Saturday in advance of Elon Musk appearing on Saturday Night Live. But what happened thereafter was really quite interesting. On Sunday, Dogecoin really came back quite impressively and held in the 50-cent range to 60-cent range throughout of the day. What's important to understand is that Dogecoin really, at that point, disproved the naysayers and came in incredible good news across the board with holds across the board on Sunday. But here we are. We're looking at Dogecoin right now. 47 cents. So you see that downward trend line currently today. This downward trend line is clearly indicative of some profit taking. You see that we started the day robustly throughout much of Sunday. I was on air. I had no less than 3 recordings for you, 2 taped and 1 live, and you saw how Doge did really well on Sunday, despite the profit taking by that whale on Saturday. Well, Dogecoin, throughout much of Sunday, disproved naysayers by holding in the 50-cent range, but now today it is taking a downward trend. We saw this one initial downward trend here early in the day, then an upside, then a very, very abrupt pullback, and then some rallying, some buying, some clear purchasing going on. And here you are seeing a progressive downturn in the last few hours. I was on live with you on other programming earlier today, and now you see Doge is at 47 cents currently just before 12:30 on the West Coast here in Santa Monica. It comes as news of 3 major events that could really bring Dogecoin to the moon. And those 3 major events unfolded over the weekend. One, which I think is a game changer. But a lot of viewers have been sending me private messages, sending me DMs, emails, and more because they're very excited about it. Some of the details are still unfolding. What is it? It is the ability to keep Dogecoin on hand and get interest for your position without selling it. It's categorically incredible. If you go to a bank currently and try to put cash in the bank and try to see what type of interest you get on the bank return, you'll be lucky if you get 1% or 2%. Well, no longer the case when it comes to cryptocurrency and Dogecoin. The Winklevoss brothers, twins, over the weekend announced that Gemini, that's Gemini, Earn, is launching an incredible 2.25% annualized APY return on anyone who has Dogecoin in their position there. This means if Dogecoin is a hold for you, and you are worried about paying bills and you need some profit, you don't want to take profits, well, now you can make interest on the valuation of the Dogecoin position. So let's say your basis was very cheap, but your valuation is now heading towards the moon. Great news, you'll get 2.25% annualized. And guess what? I'm not done there with incredible great news. This is 1, regulated, and 2, protected across 50 states. The only type of interest-bearing Dogecoin offering for cryptocurrency, and they don't only do Doge. Noah Perlman, Gemini CEO, told News over the weekend where Gemini believe that's one of the most exciting things about cryptocurrency is empowering individuals, and the Doge is a phenomenal example of it. The individual feels like Doge is money, then it is. We're here to help individuals acquire it, store it, and spend it in a self-secure way. How does this work? You would keep the Doge on file with Gemini and earn interest on it. Now, this is not a novel concept, but here is what is novel about it. Gemini is the only company that you can trade and earn interest on Dogecoin licensed in all 50 states. The brothers took very careful precaution to get complete licensing in all 50 states before rolling this out. In the case of Peter Thiel's BlockFi, it reportedly has not been able to get such legislation, such licensing in New York, and was blocked. And while other companies may offer higher interest-based accounts, the brothers offer an incredible interest for people that want to hold that position. Of course, yesterday, a lot of people heard the news about that SpaceX would now accept Dogecoin as a payment to launch Doge 1 mission to the moon next year. Not only as a down payment to go on this rocket ship, but also naming the rocket ship, which is one of potentially 10 to 100 as Doge 1 to the moon. Very exciting. But what was really exciting across the board was something that was buried in the news over the weekend, and you heard it only on this channel, which was Morgan Creek Capital Management's Mark Yusko said in a news report that he believes Bitcoin has been undervalued and is going to go far in excess of 60,000, that it's going to go to 250,000 in 5 years. I think it's a network adoption problem, and increased usage. There's a network growing in an exponential way. The fastest network in the history to $1 trillion of value right on the heels of FANGs that took place, 15 to 20 years. So he's looking at the backbone as the valuation. Fascinating, truly fascinating. What people miss is that this technology evolution of computer programming isn't going to go away. It's a powerful computing program, and it's going to become the larger base protocol of the Internet of the Value. So he's not looking so much at the memoization, the extrinsic value, the inherent value. He's looking at the platform. So there's room for a couple of protocols to survive, but there are thousands of coins across the board. That's what he said. Now let's go back to that analysis and go over what we heard with the brothers before. This was a game changer, this interest-bearing account, because with coins you have an inherent value and an extrinsic value. The extrinsic value is where can it be used in a different purpose other than what its inherent value is. Now with the ability to put in an account, get interest on it, it has an absolute wonderful extrinsic value it didn't have less than 5 days ago. And it comes after one of the governors of the Bank of London said there was no extrinsic value. Now let's jump into the market cap reports now, which we do always on this channel. Dogecoin is still holding, of course, at number 4. It's currently a market cap of 66 compared to Binance at 102. Doge is up 33% over the last 7 days, but down 20% in the last 7 hours. But now I want to go over really some of the top cryptocurrencies, crypto investments of 2021 that I want you to pencil down, look, and ultimately keep on watch. What we're going to be doing over this channel is we're going to watch movers and shakers. We're going to watch things outside the box. We're not going to just look at the top players. We're not going to just look at the things that are mainstream. We're going to look at things outside the box, because ultimately your profit taking may involve getting things very dirt cheap before they get attention and finding that attention here on this channel before you hear it anywhere else. So let's start with, of course, SafeMoon. SafeMoon, of course, has not been one of the quieter positions. A lot of people on Saturday were talking about getting out of Doge and getting into SafeMoon. But before we talk about Doge, SafeMoon, and Ethereum, which have been making big moves over the last 2 days, let me go to Stellar. Stellar is one of those positions that you may want to consider across the board. Stellar is making a substantial move today as we look at both market cap and also as we look at intrinsic value and return in the last 48 hours. When we're looking at market cap is one of the factors when considering issues across the board. But also one of the issues is how strong has it been moving. Nervos, for example, on the list. Nervos, that's Nervos or CKB. Look at this number, up 43% in the last 24 hours. I correct myself. Now it's 54% in the last 24 hours. Nervos is now currently number 60 on market capitalization. So you may want to take a look at this position. What is the current cost? 0.3 cents. So it's about 3 cents heading to 4 cents. It's up 54% today. It is down 12% in the last 7 days. Its market capitalization puts it at number 60. And if you look at its chart, it looks progressively like this and then a sharp upturn. It's a very, very pleasant chart where it's very, very flat or with a little bit of an uptick at the end, but relatively calm, and then a sharp uptick. In the securities world, you would look like something that reported great corporate earnings. Relatively calm, and then bam, a very sharp uptick. Nervos, add that to the list of coins, altcoins for you to look at. That's CKP number 80, number 60 on market cap, making a move of 54% up today, down 12% over the last 7 days. What else should you take a look at? Well, there is Stratis. Stratis is currently up 30% in the last 7 days. It's up 2% today. It's currently sitting at number 68 on market capitalization. Its chart is a more pleasant chart than most coins. Its chart is a general upturn with very, very few major dips and rubs. So you don't see very big dips, peaks or valleys. That is very, very calm in its upward trend line. It's STRAX. It's currently valued at $4.21, up 30. Well, now it's changed. Now it's up 31% today, up 30% in the last 7 days. Its market capitalization is currently number 68. What else should you look at? There is a lot of major moves today. Haven, currently at number 73, is up 21% over the last 7 days. And there's Wanchain, number 75. WAN. Its current value is $2.26. It is up 27% today. It is up 3.4% in the last 7 days. So then you hear that. Well, wait, how can it be up 3% in the last 7 days if it's up 27% in the last days? So it had a trend like this and then had an uptick, but then had a pullback. So there was a little bit of profit taking. It's number 75 on the market capitalization. It is $2.26, but an impressive run today. It is one of the fastest growing coins in percentage move today across the board. 27% currently at the time of this recording, 12:30, up 3.4% over this last 7 days. And its trend line is relatively calm. When I look at a trend line, it doesn't matter if it's a coin or if it's a security. I want something that is relatively calm. I don't want something that is very jerky. I don't want things like this. I don't want things that have very big highs and very big lows. I want something that's progressive. It's fine if there's a little bit of profit marking, a little pullback, and then I would like to compare the coin's chart against other coins. For example, there's a lot of profit taken on Sunday. So you would have seen a lot of pullbacks on Sunday. But I don't like anything that has a very severe trend line. For example, right next to Wanchain at number 74, right on market cap or right above it, is Syscoin. The chart is not to your pleasing. It goes like this and then sharp downturn and then a wiggle downward. Not particularly pleasing. I don't look at charts based on whether it's red or green. I look on whether it's a relatively calm trend line across the board. Of course, the big news today is Ethereum and Doge. Ethereum's had an incredible blockbuster day. It started this morning. It continued through the midday, and it's relatively holding. Ethereum broke through 4,000. It certainly made news for breaking through 4,000. It was just seconds ago, feel like seconds ago, that it was $2,000, but it remains a buy position currently on the coin market capitalization. Number 2, of course. It is really doing a very big run on Bitcoin. It's currently half of the value of the market cap of Bitcoin, but it's certainly breaking that spread, cutting away at that spread currently. Ethereum is up 34% in the last 7 days. It's up 6% today, which is a very progressive, nice chart. If you look at its chart, it looks like Wanchain's. It's a very, very calm chart. There was a stark uptick at one point and then a pullback. And then there was a little peak at the very end, but it is a very pleasant chart, a very calm upward trend line. When considering your top investments of 2021, what's important for you to understand is really what does the trend line look like? What does the trend line look like? And ultimately, you need to look at the trend line over a 7-day horizon, a 2-month horizon, a 3-month horizon. You're currently looking at the trend line here of Doge. I'm in tight on this chart, obviously. This is a very tight chart. This is not 7 days, it's not 10 days. This is just in the last few hours. So you see a downward trend line. And that's fine if it's down in a short period of time. But if you pull back and your trend line looks relatively calm going up, good for you. What should you understand when considering the top cryptos of 2020 and trying to choose the top crypto investment of 2021? Here's what you need to know. There will be a crypto winner. There will be a crypto winner. And ultimately, you need to decide whether your investment idea or approach is buy and hold or buy and sell, take your profits, and come back in. If you want to buy and get out, then understand if you're coming in at Ethereum now at $4,100, you're coming in rich, and you could certainly get out at 7,000. There's a lot of reports today that says Ethereum could go to 7,000 by July. But understand it's not going to hold to 7,000. Many analysts say through the start of summer that it could go into crypto winter. You could have some profit taking, and then it's going to pull back, and then it's going to have a very, very impressive run. But if you wanted to come into Ethereum now, you would be on the high end. You would absolutely be on the high end. What's also important for you to understand is that if you are in the mood of choosing coins that are cheap, they're choosing coins that are cheap, that is the sort of the purpose of this recording as well, to have you think out of the box. Ultimately, when I mention a coin, whether it is SafeMoon or Stellar or Nervos or Stratis or Wanchain, it's important for you to say, I never considered that. I never considered that. Let me take a look at the chart. Let me look at the research. And ultimately, you'll see if that coin returns to the investment coverage of this channel, then you'll see that it has made moves day after day after day. What I'll do in the scope of the reporting is that I'll daily detail coins that are making major moves. And guess what? If we go day after day after day and we continue to mention a particular coin, then you see, wait a second, that guy LALATE has mentioned that coin now a few days in a row. What is that coin? Let me take a look at it. Finally, you need to understand when to take your profits and how to take your profits. You also need to understand the value, your basis, and also your how to stagger bases. There are different approaches as to how to come into positions, and there are different approaches at how to come out of positions. Ultimately, one of the most important things to understand when going into crypto is the same concept of when going into securities, that the purchase price is critical to the exit price. And that ultimately, if you stagger your purchases over time, that's fine, so long as your blended basis is still warranted when you exit out of the position. For example, let's say you buy some Stellar today, and then you buy some Stellar at a richer price in about a week from now. And then after a few more recordings of this channel, Stellar starts to really go on a stellar run, up 18% right now for today, 15% yesterday, currently number 11 on market capitalization. Let's say you have to pay more than 73 cents now. You have to pay $1 later this week. Well, then you look at your blended rate. You want to look and see what your blended basis was. You take the you take a look at your position, you figure out what was my average basis, so that when you determine that it's time to exit, you can either exit as a full exit or as a staggered exit. I have particularly always liked, in the case of investments, just a complete exit. If you're ready to exit, you've made your profits, good. You had different bases, but you made your profits. You generally exit because there's a reason to exit. Most people don't exit on little parts unless it's another purpose. For example, let's say you got some bills to pay. Let's say you got to fix the car, and the car bill's $2,000, and you have some Stellar, and now it's worth $20,000. I'll take a little Stellar off the table because I need some bills paid, and it's doing quite well. I don't want to close out the whole position. I'll do that. That is also why people sometimes take a little bit off of the top as you go along. Some people also like to take stuff off the top, as they would call it in the securities world, to leave it in hand so that you take a little bit of profit margin. That's also a good approach to the situation. Ultimately, when you take your profits, understand what you're putting your money back in, and don't be rushed to put money back in the moment you got out of something else. I saw that a lot on Saturday and Sunday. A lot of people saying they got out of Doge and immediately got into something else. There's no rush. There's no rush. You're not on a date. You're not, there's no one knocking at your door saying, we're ready to go out on a date. Did you get out of the other position? Now you're dating me. No, you don't have to jump back into another relationship with another coin right away. You can take a little bit of time. You can take a little bit of time. Generally, in the case of coins, much like securities, you get out of a position because something's happening. And that something's happening is usually a reason to get out. And often it's not particularly the reason to get into something else. And so with that, I hope this Top Investments of 2021 recording for today, May 10th, has really helped you. Let's recap what's going on. You're looking at Doge's price currently, 46 cents, pulling back from yesterday. Yesterday was in the 50 cents range, clearly taking having some profit margin, a profit taking. You see a very, very stark downward trend line, which is not very good, that has been going on for a few hours at the mid-time. We're currently about 12:30. But the other coins that I went over in this recording, all coins I want you to consider, make a note, take a look at, are of course SafeMoon, which you probably already know about, but also Stellar, Nervos, Stratis, and Wanchain. And if you have other coins that you want me to cover on this channel, please jump in the comments and send me a private message. Join the live chat. They'll be back this afternoon with more coverage of the coins making major moves today. Thank you, and stay here and stay with LALATE for more. I'll be back this afternoon.